Hey there, man and woman of God. I just want to challenge you today to be devoted to prayer. And this is a gift that God has given us, is the ability to communicate with Him, to commune with Him, to receive His wisdom and direction for our life, and power and encouragement. And so prayer is a necessity for Christian living that is victorious. And we see that as a marker of the early church. In Acts chapter 6, verse 4, the apostles are spread out thin with all of the new believers in the church, and they're serving tables, and they find themselves not being fresh and not being able to devote themselves to the things that they really should. And so they actually appoint people to serve these tables. In Acts chapter 6, after they serve the table, or they appoint people for serving tables, they say that we will devote ourselves to prayer and to the ministry of the word. So they see that for their own lives, that it's so important that they have a devotion to prayer so they can be effective in what God has called them to do. And just like you, God wants you to be devoted to prayer so you too can be effective in what He has called you to do. But the early disciples, that wasn't something that came natural to them. We can remember in the Garden of Gethsemane when Jesus goes into the garden, brings His disciples, and He says, keep watch and pray. He goes off and prays by himself, and He comes back to find His disciples sleeping. And in Luke chapter 22, verses 40 through 41, Jesus finds them asleep, and He says, could you men not keep watch with me for 1 hour? He asked Peter, watch and pray so that you will not fall into temptation. The spirit is willing, but the body is weak. The flesh is weak. And so you may say, this does not come naturally. To pray is very hard. And I think one of the things that we see in the disciples' life is that they cultivated their prayer life. It didn't come always natural. It was something that was cultivated. And so I encourage you to cultivate a prayer life, that you would be eventually come to be someone that is known and marked by a prayerful life. You need it, I need it, we all need it. And the Lord has given us this beautiful gift to commune with Him, to seek direction and wisdom and strength from Him. So this is something, though, in your life that will be cultivated. So let's chase the Lord. Let us begin to just make prayer a priority of our everyday life. God bless you, and we love you, church.